Hello and welcome to Fantasy Premier League, the D-Eaters journey. Look, the setup is obviously a lot different to what you're used to, and the video quality and the mic quality might not be as good as you're used to, but that is because I'm in school camp and currently everyone is asleep, and thankfully I am awake still to deliver this brilliant content to you. Now, a lot of things happened on the weekend. I got most calls right, but unfortunately the one that let me down was Dominic Solanke no-show. I mean, how bad can it be? As captain, bought him for a one-week punt, and you get 2 points, doubled as my captain to 4. That really hurt. It set me back at the rank. Ironically, if I'd gone with Cunha, who I said at the beginning of last week, if I'd gone him as captain, I actually would have had a green arrow, and I would have had 10 points better off. Or if I'd gone Salah, as a lot of other people did, I would have been 12 points better off. But alas, these things happen, and obviously the one-week punt, I went on Dominic Solanke. I could have gone Dwight McNeil, who didn't get up for Everton, which was disappointing, and I could have gone him to Bruno Fernandes instead. And I tell you what, if I'd done that, I wouldn't have captained Solanke because he wouldn't have been in my team, and I would have then 100% been a Salah or Cunha captain. So sometimes in life, you just make dumb decisions. This was one of them. Dominic Solanke and Spurs are the most spurious team I've ever seen in my life, and there is no way that man is going to find his way back into my lineup after the absolute disaster class that he produced for my rank this weekend. If there's a reason I don't finish top 100k at the end of the season, it's moments like this that I look back on and go, that is the reason why. Now, without further ado, as I've been forecasting for a number of weeks now, my wildcard is officially active. It's in play. I've made a boatload of transfers. We're going to cover my team value. It did stand at 103.9. It is now slightly less than that because obviously I've moved a few players on in order to catch other price rises, and that is the whole aim of this week, to try and make some money over the next 2 weeks, the international break, capitalise on the fixture on swings which are happening for Brighton, Arsenal in particular, even Bournemouth are in there, and getting rid of some of the assets that I think might have run their course. Now, Chris the Woody Woodpecker is in this particular category because, unfortunately, he has been absolutely fantastic for my team. However, his run of fixtures coming up doesn't look the best. And I mean, if I sell him now, I will actually be able to sell him for 6.3 million, which is insane considering he's up to 6.6. I think his price is likely to drop because his run coming up is hard. And those numbers that he got the first 10 games were unsustainable, and we saw that in Gameweek 11. Unfortunately, they've got a couple of other good sides that are going to be just as good as Newcastle and better, and I think that going, particularly for the defence as well, is going to become a lot harder, and for Chris Wood, he's not going to find the opportunities as easy moving forward. That's just my personal opinion. Now, hopefully the transition to the next part of this video works well, and this is also a really good time that if you are new around here, please press the subscribe button and make sure you like the video as well, because you are going to want to be on board this journey in particular for the next 2 weeks as I go through how I'm going to do my wildcard squad. So without further ado, let's look into the week that was Game Week 11. Alright, so hopefully the audio is still going, and you can see that I got a score of 55. There was no minuses this week, taking minus scores, there was none of that. And I was above the average, but again, it knocked me down from 116k to 169,544. Now, I'm not too disappointed with that. I did say that if I was in the top 200,000 teams before wildcarding, I'll be pretty happy with that. Now, just to quickly show what this is looking like for everyone. So the Gameweek history there, you can see that across the season, I've been steadily building my team value. And that's been my whole policy this whole time, to try and get to this wild card with the best team value I can, to try and maximise the amount of premium assets I can get for this particular part of the season where we are coming up to the last international break. Post this, we'll obviously have the December games, all the lots of fixtures in there, and it just becomes a bit of a minefield trying to deal with injuries and everything else. So the plan is to do this wildcard squad the next 2 weeks and then hopefully not have to play around with it for about 5. Touch wood. There are a couple of caveats to that, and I do like using my transfers because of that. That's what I've done all season, probably going to continue to do that, but ideally I'd like to keep a couple moving forward. Now, if we have a quick look at my points. So we'll just quickly cover it here. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold, I am quite concerned about that. He went off in the 25th minute. I obviously didn't watch any of the games. I haven't even seen any of the goals. The only goals I've seen are the Sunday night games. So I saw Man United against Leicester, and I watched that live, and Man United, we'll talk about them very shortly, but Bruno Fernandes and Manchester United are back, and they are back, baby. He returned with a massive 17. I called it right that he was a great one-week punt. I unfortunately thought that McNeil would get up to play against West Ham, and I wish I'd known that he wasn't going to feature at all, and I think in reflection I would have done the McNeil to Bruno, and my God, my rank, I actually would have flown into the top 100k, because again, I would have had Salah or Cunha captain, and again, I would have been like 30 points better off pretty much. But these things happen. So look, the defence I was pretty happy with. Robinson and Aguilar, not attacking returns, but 2 clean sheets, and that's exactly what you want. Now, I had another bit of a sliding doors moment this week, but obviously, I sold Smith Rowe instead of McNeil last week, and if I'd done the opposite, I would have had Smith Rowe's 11 points on the field. So again, another one of them ones, it's just unfortunate. Sometimes you get them really good, other times not so good. So look, Trent Alexander-Arnold, I am concerned about that. He is, we'll see my team at the moment and all the transfers I've already made, but he's not in my team at the moment because I bought him for 7, he's at 7, and well, he's not going to lose me any money. In fact, I might actually be lucky that he might drop to 6.9. I can bring him back a bit cheaper. That is the plan, but we'll see. So obviously Palmer got up and didn't do much against Arsenal. Arsenal blanketed them pretty good from all reports. Morgan Rodgers and Aston Villa again were disappointing. Second game week in a row. The Aston Villa assets, I've got some question marks. It looks like they could be becoming a little bit jaded, a little bit tired, and I think that's something to keep in mind moving forward. Mo Salah, where to begin? The Egyptian King, the King of Fantasy, is just too good. He has to be in your team. You cannot leave him out at this particular moment in time. It's unbelievable how good he has been. I don't even know what to say, but he's just been brilliant. Brian Mbeumo, that was a classic mid-table game, 3-2 to Brentford, and I think they came from behind as well. Insane. Brian Mbeumo only with 1 assist, unfortunately, but Wissa, who was up top, got 2 goals. Again, some of the budget options this week up forward, absolutely amazing. Now, shout out to João Pedro, who came on off the bench, assisted and scored as Brighton came from behind to beat Manchester City. And for those taking on Erling Haaland and who had captained him, ironically, lots of people captained him in my league on the game week, and I was on Sunday when I woke up, I was like, oh, that's brilliant, it's only scored 1 goal. Little did I know that Dominic Solanke there was going to fail. And like, I was watching the Sunday night games and they cut across to the Spurs game. I was like, Ipswich, how the hell are they winning 2-0? But this is classic Spurs. When you think they're going to be good, they are rubbish. And there's a reason why they are the Spursy team and why they're Spurs. Because they produce idiotic, nonsensical results like this. If you're a Spurs fan, I don't know how you do it. I honestly don't know how you do it. That team would do my head in. Dominic Solanke does my head in. He's never coming back into this team all season. He's been in it for 1 week out of 38. He will not be in it for another week. I can guarantee that. Or he will not be on any differential videos. He'll be on nothing. He would have to be bagging in hat-tricks upon hat-tricks for me to even consider him getting into a video after that performance. So he unfortunately doubled as my captain. Cunha, who was amazing again for Wolves. So Cunha, João Pedro, Evangelisson from Bournemouth as well. He was on the score sheet again as well. And Wissa, lots of budget options again, firing into the double digits. So you just had to be lucky to get a couple of them, and your rank really went up. Unfortunately, Chris Wood, as I talked about earlier, I think his run potentially might be coming to an end. The good news is I left no points on my bench this week. So thankfully, McNeil obviously didn't play. Justin got 1 and Faye's got 1, as obviously Man United put 3 past Leicester. So all in all, I'm not too disappointed. I mean, Raya was close to keeping a clean sheet. They sort of let Chelsea back into that game. Obviously, Cole Palmer didn't deliver either, so that was disappointing. So like the Sunday games actually just hurt my rank. On Saturday, after Saturday night, I thought I was in a real good chance of getting into the top 100k. Unfortunately, Dominic Solanke just did not deliver, and subsequently, I dropped rank by 50,000 places, essentially. But look, that's what it is. Unfortunately, these things happen. Now, moving on to the Next thing, so we have the what do you call it? The FPL challenge. I'm going to quickly look at that, and I think again, considering I put this together within like 5 seconds before Saturday night games, and obviously I was on holiday in Singapore and I had not bothered to do this, so I was lucky. I got Anana's points, I got Salah, I got Cunha, who doubled to 30, which was fantastic. I got Haaland's as well, so I pretty much nailed it this week. I mean, I got the global rank of 11,210, so I was on point this week, and yeah, I got 71 points and the highest was 91, so I was pretty happy with that. So quick look into what is coming for Gameweek 12 there. This is a very brief preview of what we are looking at, and it's not going to show me, so I'm not sure what's going on there. We've encountered an error. Fantastic. Now, on to the leagues really quickly. Every week counts. That's our head-to-head league. I'm still on top there, even though I did lose to Diesel, and that is purely because he picked Salah as captain, and unfortunately, all Solanke had to do was score 1 goal, and I won the battle. Unfortunately, he, as I said, he just did nothing. He's a waste of space. So if we go into the main league, and shout out to Finish BK, who's currently top of the league. He also top scored for the week with 84 points. He's now up to 739 for the season, and he is in the top 7,413 teams. That is the benchmark to beat in our league. And hopefully, look, if you are there, the link is in the description. Join the league, join the WhatsApp group. It's all in there. We talk a lot of crap, but it's good fun, and that's what it's ideally designed to do, right? FPL is better to have some banter with the people and talk through ideas and stuff like that. Like some people, like he, is doing very well. Now, he has played his wild card, so he's gone with Fabianski and Sanchez. I like the Sanchez pick in goal because obviously Chelsea's coming to that with a good run now. He's got Hull, which I thought was interesting, but it makes sense. I'm surprised he kept Barker on wild card, considering Barker was definitely not going to be playing for Brighton, and I feel like there's other 4 million rated defenders or 4.1 he could have eked out that is probably going to be better than just sitting with someone that's definitely not going to be playing on your bench, but that's neither here nor there. Obviously, he's somehow managed to fit in Haaland, Salah, but he has gone without the Palmers, the Sakas, so he's gone with the two true premiums and then a bunch of sort of low-priced alternatives, and I really like the defence. I mean, Dallo was unlucky that he only got 1 point because he could have been amazing, but it'll be interesting to see what he is like under the Amarin system. Robinson 8 Norwich, obviously clean sheets. Fabianski, 4 million rated goalkeeper that's playing. He was brilliant, 9 points in the back line, can't complain with that. Bruno Fernandes, he obviously listened to my differential video last week. Great 1 week punt. I mean, Bruno Fernandes looks like he's back in form. And I think if Amaron can get the ground running at United, I think Bruno Fernandes is 100% a player that you want in your team. And we'll have a look at what I've done so far, but he's definitely in my thoughts moving forward. And obviously he's got Cunha who fired up front, and he's also got Chris Wood. As I said, I'm just not sure about Chris Wood. But look, I'm playing my wild card this week. Hopefully I can make some of that rank back up. And let's have a look at what I've already done for this particular game week. So, transfers. You'll see here my team looks significantly different. So at the moment I've got Kelleher in. I'm literally chasing money at the moment. So there's no way that I'm going to be ending this game week with Kelleher and Fabianski as my goalies. Fabianski's 100% staying. Kelleher will 100% not be staying. At the moment, I'm tempted to bring back David Raya, who looks like he's on track for a price drop. So I sold him at 5.6, which is what I bought him for originally, but he's on track to go down to 5.5, and then I might be tempted to bring him back in just because of the fact that Arsenal's fixture run is pretty damn enticing from Gameweek 12 onwards. Now, I bought in Hull, so you can see the players I shipped out. I got rid of all the Leicester defenders because, my God, double the Leicester defence was a debacle. I've kept Robinson, I've kept 8-9, I've dropped Trent Alexander-Arnold to Virgil, who I really like. He's already gone up in price. So Virgil, Hull, Kelleher, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes is about to go up in price, and João Pedro is about to do the same. All these players I bought in, I am hoping are going to go up by at least 0.2 over this game week. So if I don't want them, by the time they go up, I sell them, I make a profit of 0.1. I'm literally sitting there trying to chase team value. So I've actually dropped team value in order to do this, but that's because of the fact that I actually want to try and make some actual team value where I can then sell and buy at an extra 0.1. So at the moment, this is my team. I've actually got 5.5 in the bank, and I do want Saka in this team, and I can bring Saka in for Semenyo in this team. And I think that would probably finish it. Now, João Pedro is there purely because of the fact that Brighton's got that amazing run coming up, and we'll just have a quick look at what that looks like. So as you can see there, fixtures coming up, the Brighton run turns now. So between now and game week 19, Brighton go on a very nice run where they play all the teams you'd want teams to play. They've got your Southamptons, they've got their Leicesters, they've got the Crystal Palaces, they've got West Ham, while they've still got Lopetegui. Even after their two difficult fixtures, and Brighton have been playing well even against the good teams, they've then got Ipswich in that after the two hard fixtures in game week 19 and game week 20. So look, I am very tempted, and it is going to change slightly. I've obviously got 5.5 million in the bank, and I'm not going to be spending it. But there's a few different options there that I'm weighing up in my head. But at the moment, it is key, particularly in a game week where you've got the international break, you've got 2 weeks to try and make some money over. At this time of the season, lots of people are making trades and transfers and all over the place because they've saved them up. So I've actually looked at the players that are rising in price and try to get them now that they're going to go straight up, and then hopefully they go up again later in the second week. And you're laughing. I mean, the Hall I actually don't mind. Originally I just bought him because his price was rising, and I thought, he's shown a tendency to do all right the last few weeks. And obviously the Newcastle run is not too bad. Now, Chris Wood potentially could become Isak in this draft as well. Now, the reason why I like that is because, as I said, the Newcastle run, he's looking really good. Isak again scored lots of points on the weekend, and I think that is something you need to take into consideration when you're making your transfers. Now, Welbeck's due to go up in price as well. However, I'm just not sure that he can continue the sustained run. And remember his age. So when we get to December, he's not going to be playing all those games over Christmas. His body won't be able to do it. He'll break down. So that's also something you've got to take into consideration, which is why you've got to pick players that you think are going to play 90 minutes game in, game out, if you get what I'm saying. If we look at, shout out to Delap, who also did very well for Ipswich. He returned again with a massive haul, 11 points as well. So I almost missed him at the beginning with the budget forwards firing. But look, he's been great. Like, when you think how much you're paying for him, 5.6, he's an absolute steal. He will feature in the differential video this week, I can guarantee you that. Whistler again was fantastic as well. Now, if we do look at Isak, his potential returns, he's been great. The last 3 weeks, he scored 3 goals and got 1 assist. And that's against Nottingham Forest, who are really good defensively, Arsenal, who are historically really good defensively, and Chelsea, who have been a much harder team to play against. Now, Newcastle's run, they've got West Ham next at home and then Crystal Palace away. I really love the next 2 games for Newcastle. And for Isak, I think he's going to exploit them, provided he gets through the international break, doesn't get injured. And then obviously after the Liverpool game, which is going to be a hard game, let's be honest, we can then look forward to Leicester and Ipswich in coming game weeks, into game week 16 and 17 back to back. I just love it. I think Newcastle potentially are turning the tide under Eddie Howe this season, and Isak is definitely someone that's at the top of my mind. I don't know if I can fit Anthony Gordon into the team I've got, but that's definitely something I'm looking into. But yeah, unfortunately Strand Larson didn't come to the party this week for Wolves, but he was there and thereabouts. So other things that really caught my eye from the results that did pop off the page were the fact that there were a lot more clean sheets this week. In fact, there were a lot of teams that kept clean sheets this week. Fulham, Everton and West Ham. So Pickford, I said that he was going to keep clean sheets, and he got a massive 11 points as your goalkeeper. That's exactly what they want. I mean, Fabianski was great getting a 9, but Pickford got every one of his owners 11. Obviously, Man United and Liverpool clean sheets as well. And Wolves kept a clean sheet, which is insane. So look, we brought in 8 Nori for the attacking returns, but in reality, the defending ones, particularly for Wolves coming up, there's a strong chance that they're going to be able to defend and hopefully keep some clean sheets moving forward. Now, the big thing to look at is the Man United players. Now, we don't know how Amarin's going to set the team up. We know it's going to be but everyone's rumoured a 3-4-3 formation, but we don't know exactly what that means for different players. Does that mean that Bruno Fernandes is going to have to come back and play at a 6 or an 8? Or is he going to be that player that plays in the 2 behind the 1? Will Rasmus Højlund finally start getting some chances made in this system? These are all really good questions that we don't know the answer to. We also don't know where Dalot and Mazraoui are going to play. Is one going to play in the back, one of the back 3, or are they both going to be fighting over the one spot? That's what we need to wait and see. I'm still not sold on Dalot there. He's only there because he's going up in price. He has gone up in price. I'm hoping he will do so again. But these are just the things to keep in mind when you're looking at it. I really think that the best policy, and Kelleher probably will become a different goalkeeper. Potentially Raya, could be Anana, I'm not sure. But then one of the other defenders will become a Liverpool defender, and I'll double up on the Liverpool defence because Liverpool have been really good defensively. And I know they've got the Man City game coming up, which does concern me a little bit, but they just look so good at the back, and I think that's definitely something you've got to keep in mind, particularly moving forward. So look, these are my early thoughts. Let me know what you think. How did you go on the week? Obviously, captain choices make a big difference, and this was the first week where I truly think I got it wrong. On paper, it looked good. Solanke even scored a goal, but unfortunately, he handled it in the lead up. And I saw it, and I was like, yes, he scored. And then I saw that, and I was like, it's just going to be one of them nights, isn't it? And unfortunately, it was. But look, shouts out, Bruno Fernandes, definitely the player of the week, and he was back in some amazing form. 2 assists from him, one directly relating to an own goal, and obviously scoring a goal himself. That is the Bruno of old. That is the Portuguese Magnifico that came from Sporting Lisbon, like Cristiano. That's what you need to give. But he's in the team. And I think that 100%, let's talk FPL, has held him all season. And the last couple of weeks, he has come up big. And I think he's going to continue coming up big. He might just be back in form. And hopefully under Amarin, that run will continue. Now, something else to keep in mind, the Chelsea run of fixtures also turns really nicely here as well. There's a strong likelihood that, Kelleher could become a Sanchez in goal. And I risk playing a Chelsea defender in that respect. I don't think there's enough of a Chelsea attacker I want, other than Nicholas Jackson. But I've got to work out, I think spending 8.4 on Isak, and I think it's 7.9, or might be almost 7. I think Jackson's going to drop in price, but he's 7.9 currently, I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look. Yeah, 7.9. He potentially will drop to 7.8. I think just spending like close to 16 mil on 2 forwards is just too much. So, especially with the ones that are like 6 mil just popping off all over the place. I mean, these guys should be a sure run of things because, the Chelsea run from here is delicious. Like Leicester and Southampton up next. Again, the caveat is he has got 4 yellow cards, so he's 100% going to miss a game in there. It's just a matter of which game he misses, and you don't want him missing one of those juicy fixtures because that will really hurt when you're banking on him to do it. And I think it's a fair amount of money to invest as well, so you've got to keep that in mind, particularly when making these chances. But lots to think about. I am thinking about the Brighton players, the Bournemouth players, the Arsenal players, and the Chelsea players, particularly when I'm building this draft. Also keeping in mind that I want to target teams that are in form. And Liverpool are the top team, and it pains me saying that being a United fan, but I think you've almost got to have 3 of their players. And I don't care which 3 you get, but as long as they're starting almost every game, which is why Virgil's in there and Mo Salah are in there at the moment, I think that's imperative for building rank and sustaining it. So look, I'm not sure 100% how this wildcard draft is going to land, and I'd probably want to put out another video this week. I will probably put out my differentials one. Potentially I might do that tomorrow. My week 1 differentials, I'm going to look at a few different ones. And then next week, obviously, I'll do the proper video that I normally do as well. But hopefully the video quality's been all right. And hopefully you've enjoyed my thoughts about what I think is going to happen and why I'm playing my wild card now. Because this is the last international break. And then we get a good slog of fixtures through to when you get the second one. Now, I don't know how I'm going to play the second one yet. And I'm going to talk about that when it does eventually come up. But the idea is to set this team up to try and reel in some rank hopefully at least, 80,000 spots over the next 6 weeks, I can make that legit and then be pushing into like the top 80k moving forward as we approach the halfway mark of the season. That's the plan. Let me know what you're thinking. Players that maybe I potentially have missed, I'd love to know in the comments. And make sure you do like and subscribe if you haven't already. And get involved in the WhatsApp group. Thanks for watching. That's been the D in its early preview of Game Week 12.